Guys, do you see this fog? This is crazy. I just came outside to get something from the garden, and I just saw the fog. It's like I can hardly see, I don't know, like 20-30 meters in front of me. Let me go to the front of the house. Wow, this is crazy. We don't usually get this kind of fog, and it's humidity, I think. It feels quite humid outside, but it feels like really ominous. Not a nice feeling, and it's full moon as well. Wow. I want to show you what came today. It's really exciting. Well, the gentle roller came, the felting machine is here, it arrived today. So I put it there on the table outside, but I'm not going to assemble it today because it's actually really hot. Cyprus summer arrived yesterday, and today is the first few days that I'm actually feeling really hot. So I'm not going to assemble it today because I also want to, I need a table because I finished those baby blankets that I was making, and I want to have the table so they're washing now, so I can kind of lay them to dry outside. It's just going to take a day. Although I'm like really kind of like, I really want to assemble it today and I want to start working with wool. But then I said, because I have so many things going on, you know what, don't start a new thing. Finish the ones that I have on the list for today, and you know, not start opening the boxes as much as it is tempting. So today what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna block the blankets, I'm gonna put them to dry, and I'm going to finish the heel of the sock that I was knitting out of camijo yarn. It's the second heel that I'm doing, and I'm going to work on some other socks that I'm making otherwise. And then hopefully, if other things are done, tomorrow I can start assembling the roller.
I'll count to 10, then open up my eyes. If you're gone, I'll take it as a sign. But if you stay, then baby hold me tight and send me off with the words of a lullaby. Of a lullaby. I've been trying to make sense of it all, looking for signs in the stars, but it's been right in front of me this whole time. Can't believe I didn't see the light.
Hi, it's been more than a week since the last clip of this at the very beginning of this video that I recorded, and I didn't really plan for this video to be like that. I didn't think that it's going to take this trajectory that it did. But then again, I really didn't expect that in the past week that we're going to have the beginnings of what seems like World War III, and in such close proximity to us. And I just couldn't really make myself turn the camera on and show my face. But because a few of you have contacted me, I thought I'll kind of give you a short update and tell you how we are all doing. We're fine. My older son celebrated his 21st birthday in the past week as well. But as you know, as you watch the news, whatever's happening is happening. It's not, and that's not to say that things have not been happening before. A few times I have voiced my opinion on this channel of how I feel and how things are affecting me, but I try to stay away from that. I try to have this channel more as a place where we focus on beauty, even though it's real life. But I try to focus on nice things. However, there are occasions when, you know, things just, I can't separate completely this channel from my personal life, because it is kind of a real life channel. But to separate only the nice things, I try to do that, but it's not always easy, and it's really strange. Well, I don't know if it's strange, but at the very beginning of this video, I was recording that fog that we had here, and I said on the camera, and I said it feels almost ominous, and then just a day later, things happened. Anyway, we're safe. That's the reason why I'm turning this camera on. We are safe. The tricky part is, even though Cyprus is not involved, there are a few tricky things. The fact that we have foreign military bases on the island, and that does put us in danger, and the proximity. So far, it's all good. However, the Cypriot government did tell us to find out where our closest bunkers and shelters are, and that is, it's just really strange feeling, because when I was 12, I remember my dad was in the war, and my mom, she kind of wanted to make everything sound, you know, like not scary, and she was like arranging with me and my sister, you know, what are we going to do, you know, what to do if we hear the sirens. And she said to my sister, you know, you will go to your friend, which is close to your school, because our schools were in different parts of Belgrade, and our house was on the third part, like in a completely different part of Belgrade. And because my mom was alone with us, because my dad was away, so she was arranging with us, you know, like what we're gonna do if we hear the sirens. So my sister was going to go to her friend's house, which is close to her school. I was going to go to my grandmother, which was my grandmother lived very close to my school. And then after everything calmed down, then we would meet at home, because my mom would be at work while we would be at school, and my dad was not there to pick us up. And all along she tried to make it sound, you know, like it's, oh, you know, don't worry about it, just if you hear the sirens. And I didn't really understand it at that time, the heaviness of her tone, of how much effort it actually took for her to make it sound like that, light like that. And now when I'm kind of in the moment where I'm thinking like, oh shit, I might have to have that conversations with my sons now. It's just, anyway, I didn't necessarily want to tell this story. That was not the plan, to tell this story now on this video, but it came out because I was talking to, we have a group of podcasters chat on Instagram, and I was telling them that story. And I can tell you, there is some really nice people that are in this community. I mean, most of them are nice, but and I'm not going to mention names, of course, because that was a private conversation separate from the group chat. But there is one girl that you all watch as well, that is a friend of mine, but we never really met in person. And the first thing she did, without hesitation, she sent me a private message, and she said, my cabin and my home are open for you and your family if you need to get away. And it just touches me, and I know that that's humanity, but the connections that we create. Anyway, sorry for kind of being a downer, but because, as I said, that that some of you contacted me, I wanted to kind of like give you this quick update. And needless to say, I really didn't make much. I'm making all the time, I'm knitting all the time, but in the past week I couldn't get anything done for some reason. I have the roller, the felting machine that arrived. I still didn't assemble it. Okay, I was waiting for Nicola's birthday to pass because we had the whole family here in the yard. We had the party, so I was waiting for that to pass. But that passed, and I still didn't a couple of days ago, and I still didn't assemble it. I was going to make those bats, spinning fiber bats for sale. Didn't do that. Take photos of the Mosaic charts and release the actual bundle, the Mosaic bundle, chart bundle. Didn't do that. The T-shirt came, the one that the sample that of the new design. Didn't take pictures of that either or put it on my website. I didn't do anything that I planned to do. It's just my mind seems to be, I seem to be spaced out, but I have been making stuff, and what I find that I really need in this moment is, as far as housework is concerned, all I'm doing, I'm just cutting up, like today I cut the papaya that we had, and I cut the watermelon, and I seem to be doing those things, just kind of like to do something, you know, that is healthy and nourishing for my family. And as far as making is concerned, it's like I'm making and knitting stuff and spinning stuff, just something that is healthy and nourishing for my soul at the moment. But before I show you a few things that I did, the blankets, I did the wash and block the crochet blankets. I think you saw them in the previous clip. Now, when they are going to be received by the recipients, I'm not sure, because I don't know if we're going to be going to Belgrade, or at least I hope that we're not going to go under these circumstances. I hope that we're going to go as a holiday and not because we have to leave. But the blankets, they kind of relaxed and they feel really good now that they have been washed and blocked. This is one of them. Those are the baby blankets that I was crocheting for the kids, sons of my cousins. You can see more, I talk about them more in the previous video, I believe. I think even in the past 2 videos or something like that. That's the first one. And the second one is this. This one is a bit bigger, but not much bigger, however it is thicker. They're a nice size. They're a really nice size. I think they're about 1 meter wide or something like that, and they're more or less square. So they're really nice size because they can be used in the pram. They can be used down as a play blanket on the floor. They can be used in a crib. So they're nice size. They're not tiny, but they're still, you know, a kid size blanket. So that's finished and that's washed, so now I can store them away now that I have showed them to you, because they've been sitting in my living room for the past week since I washed and blocked them. But it's and another thing is, one lady asked me if I can show the inside of the Mosaic sock that I'm knitting. Yeah, I can. I will show you. It's quite simple to do, but I'm just going to show you now because the lady asked me. But however, when I release those charts, I will record showing you how to do the mosaic stitch. It's very simple and you can find it on the internet now. You can easily put in the search of YouTube mosaic knitting in the round or mosaic knitting flat. It's very simple. I mean, I find it very simple because you're working with one color at a time. Even though it's a form of color work, you're working with one color at a time. And there are some nice explanations of how it's done. However, I will, when I record, when I release those, that chart bundle that I was telling you about, I will show you how I'm doing it, so maybe we can do one sock together. But until then, so here is on the outside one of the mosaic patterns from that chart bundle, and the inside looks like that. It's very similar to color work. Okay, so it's not, as I said, it's really not difficult, but because the lady asked me to show the inside of the sock, I thought not to forget, and I'll do that. However, we're gonna probably make one sock together. So the things that I've been knitting on is something that, as I said, something that I feel right now my soul needs, and it's very, very plain knitting. So I started like 2 wraps. I didn't know that they're going to be wraps. I just wanted to create fabric, but I didn't necessarily want to start blankets in fingering weight yarn. So I just kind of thought, okay, I'll just cast on this much approximately, and I'll just start knitting. This is what I need, and I think they're going to turn out to be wraps. This is the first one. I didn't weave in the ends from the stripes that I'm doing. So the black stripes are drop snored, and these are the stripes. They're my handspun yarn, single ply, and I'm holding it with a cobweb. The first part, if you see these stripes in between, they're kind of like different shades. This one is lighter and this one is a bit darker. So I started first knitting with this one, and I was holding this yarn with a very pale beige cobweb yarn. And then when I made this part, I was like, oh, I wish that it was a bit darker. So I thought, okay, let me do a black stripe, and then let me do a stripe with a little bit darker beige yarn, cobweb yarn. So I'm holding it with this one. And this combination gave me this, I hope this shows on the camera the differences, because there are. So that combination gave me this darker stripe. But then, because I didn't want to leave the shawl, the wrap, just with this one lighter stripe, I thought, okay, I'm going to alternate them by separating with the thin black stripes, and that's what I'm doing. So here is a thinner one, here is a lighter one, then a little bit of a darker, then a lighter one, and now I'm on the darker one. And this is garter stitch. It's just plain garter stitch, but exactly what I need. Let me see. Okay, that, and I spun some wool, but I'm not gonna, I don't think you're gonna be able to see it well like this, because the ply, it didn't ply very well. I have this yarn that fiber, sorry, that I've been spinning, and it's a mixture of alpaca and camel and merino and silk. However, when I spin it, it's very silky, and that's not necessarily the type of fiber that I like to knit with. So I thought, okay, if I kind of have that as one ply, and maybe do the other ply in just merino, but I have brown merino as bats, and that's quite woolly. It's not a comb top. If I spin one single of that brown merino and one single of that blend that I have, that silky blend, and if I apply them together, I'm kind of thinking that that silkiness is going to even out and get some more bounce. And it did, from what I just plied these 2 skeins yesterday. However, the plies are not perfect, because one is bouncy and one is silky, so they are not, the plying of it was not perfect, which I don't think it's going to matter at all really once I start knitting with it. So this was just a test. So the lighter one is that silky that I was telling you about blend, and the darker one is the brown merino that I have lots of bats in. I ordered it from World of Wool one time, it was on sale. So this is these are the 2 that I got, and before I start plying more, I'm going to wind one of them. I'm going to roll it into a ball. My winder is giving me some issues, so I'm going to wind it and do a swatch, really, to test it and to see how, before I start plying the rest of rest of the singles that I have. I don't have the brown ones. I have to make more of the brown merino, which I can, but I do have a lot of that silky blend that I was telling you. So that's what I did yesterday, and they're already dried. I soaked them last night. I put them out to dry, and they're already dry because it's summer solstice today, and it's really hot in here in Cyprus. So I'm going to make a swatch sample with that to see if I like the fabric that I'm getting. And the last thing that I started doing a couple of nights ago, again, very relaxing knit. I wanted to work with brioche, but one color brioche. I didn't want to think about it, but because I'm a continental knitter, brioche is a very easy stitch for me. I don't have to move the yarn like that because I'm holding the yarn in my left hand. I just do a yarn over like that and I knit it. I might show you one time, but if you type in search one color brioche in continental knitting, you're gonna see that it's actually a very easy and relaxing stitch if you're a continental knitter. And I'm using Drops Flora. I simply have a lot of Drops Flora, and before I didn't like working with Drops Flora, but for the past year or so I actually really do. And I don't know what changed. Did my knitting change, or did they change something in their production? But from something that I didn't like the yarn, I felt like it's not bouncy enough, like it's not stretchy from a couple of years ago. Now I actually really like it, and it's probably the most inexpensive yarn that you're going to find with natural fibers. This is a composition of alpaca and wool, but I don't know exactly percentages now. I don't have ball band. It's Drops Flora. It's a 4-ply yarn. So I have a lot of it because whenever Drops goes on sale, they often do. And different yarns, they go at different times. So recently it was Drops Flora, so I just bought loads of it because I like to combine it with other yarns as well. And I cast on 128 stitches, and I'm using 2.5 millimeter needle for this, because even though for the yarn the recommended needle is 3 millimeter, I believe. However, when I'm doing one color brioche, I find that I need to go down a needle size because it's a lofted fabric, so in order to kind of look really squishy, and it's working fine. So I'm on 2.5 millimeter needles, and I cast on 128 stitches. Why 128? I don't know. My birthday is 28th of December, so 128. 12 is December, and then 28 is my birthday. That's how I cast on usually. That's how I determine like how much I'm going to cast on for something that doesn't have to have a particular stitch count or particular size. And the size is great, actually. It's going to work very well for a wrap. But how beautiful is this? Very nice. It's creating a very nice squishy fabric, and it's very meditative. So to tell you the truth, I'm alternating between those two knits, that garter wrap and this, for the past couple of days, because that's all my brain can handle at the moment, and that's all I want to do, really. I even started doing paint by numbers. I had paint by numbers in my collection, and if you've seen some of my videos, you know that I paint. I usually paint portraits in oil. However, I needed something that I don't have to think about it, and I had some paint by numbers, which is in bright colors, and those are not the colors that I necessarily use. It's some owl with flowers in her hair, and it's all like pinks and greens, and those are not necessarily the colors that I use in my painting, but I felt like I needed that, and especially it's kind of giving me, you know, what paint to put where. So I started doing that as well, and together with these easy knits. So yes, that is exactly where you can understand where my mind is at and what I need at the moment. So for today, what I'm going to do, I didn't even think that I'm going to be able to record, but I thought, you know what, I might as well, even though there is not much, you know, to show. However, it did kind of, it did come together. I actually had quite a bit of things to show you. I thought, you know what, I might as well record, and if I keep the footage, I keep it. If not, doesn't really matter. So what I'm thinking today to do is, we still have some beetroot which is in the ground, but that really needs to come out. We've been eating it and we've been using it, but it really needs to come out because all the leaves have already shriveled. So I'm thinking to pick all the beetroot that I have, maybe peel it and cut it up into pieces. And I found some recipes for beetroot dips and smoothies and all that, so I think we're gonna overdose on beetroot in the next week. But that's the plan for today. I already cut the watermelon, the papaya, and I'm going to do the beetroot. That's my housework today. I'm not even venturing into hoovering, and I'm going to continue working on these very, very simple knits. So I hope you're well. Thank you for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye for now.
Baby, hold me tight and send me off with the words of a lullaby. With the words of a lullaby. Send me off with the words of a lullaby.